Hello, Questers, and welcome back to the Lore Library, a show where I break down some tidbits of lore for you to utilize in your own Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, whether you be a player or indeed a dungeon master. So, today we're going to be diving into the Shadows to explore one of the most infamous factions of the Forgotten Realms, known as the Zhentarim, or also known as the Black Network. So, the Zhentarim were founded in the year of the Grey Flame, 1261 DR, which stands for Dale Reckoning within the Forgotten Realms. And it's a shadowy organization that operates across the realms, initially established as a mercenary company by the ambitious wizard Manchun. And it quickly expanded into a sprawling network of spies, mercenaries, and assassins. But what exactly do the Zhentarim want? Well, at their core, the Black Network seeks power and influence. They aim to control trade, gather information, and manipulate events to their advantage. And unlike other factions, the Zhentarim don't shy away from using force, intimidation, and deception to achieve their goals. The Zhentarim's main strongholds include Zentil Keep, Darkhold, and the Citadel of the Raven, and each of these fortresses serve as a hub for their operations, whether that's conducting trade, training mercenaries, or plotting their next move. The agents of the Zhentarim are often known for their cunning and resourcefulness, from skilled warriors to powerful spellcasters, with each member being a valuable asset to the organization as a whole. They operate both overtly and covertly, often posing actually as merchants, adventurers, or sometimes even just simple townsfolk. So, who are some of the notable figures of the Zhentarim? Well, at the top of the hierarchy is Manchun, the original founder, known for his mastery of magic and his ruthless pursuit of power. And actually, over the years, Manchun created multiple clones of himself, and I think actually others may have cloned him too. And these clones of Manchun have emerged, each vying for control, adding a layer of complexity and intrigue and various other things to the organization's hierarchy of leadership. Another key figure is, and forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, Vzul Shembril, a high priest of Bane, who is the god of tyranny. Perhaps I should do a lore library video on Bane himself. But Vzul played a significant role in the Zhentarim's rise to power, aligning the organization with the Church of Bane and enhancing its influence through religious zealotry and sheer force. But to understand the Zhentarim's rise to being one of the most influential factions within the realms, we need to look at their history. So in the early days, the Zhentarim were primarily focused on just expanding their influence through mercenary work and securing trade routes. Their power base, Zentil Keep, became a fortress of both political and military might. And throughout the years, the Zhentarim engaged in numerous conflicts and political machinations. They played pivotal roles in events like the Moonsea Wars and the struggles against the Harpers, who I've done a video on, and the Lord's Alliance, who no doubt will have a video very soon. Their actions often left a trail of chaos and destruction, but also solidified their reputation as a force to be reckoned with. But one of the most interesting aspects of the Zhentarim as a faction is actually their internal power struggles. Manchun's clones often found themselves at odds with each other, actually, leading to a faction within the faction, and the internal conflicts can make the Zhentarim both unpredictable and quite dangerous as a faction as well, as the alliances shift and the power dynamics change. For adventurers who are encountering the Zhentarim, it can be both, on one hand, a challenge, and on the other, an opportunity. Whilst their methods tend to be quite ruthless, they also can offer quite lucrative contracts and valuable information to those willing to work with them. However, when you are making a deal with a member of the Zhentarim, betrayal is always a risk because, well, they have a reputation for being a quite treacherous faction. The Zhentarim's operations aren't particularly limited to combat and mercenary work. They're actually often deeply involved in trade, using their vast network to control the flow of goods and information. And this economic power gives them leverage in political and social arenas, allowing them to influence events from behind the scenes. So, how could you potentially incorporate the Zhentarim into your campaigns? Well, they can serve as formidable antagonists, offering players challenging foes with complex motivations, assassins, and things like that. Or alternatively, they can be quite dubious allies, providing assistance, but with a price. And the Zhentarim's vast network and resources actually make them quite a versatile element to add into any story or campaign, because they can often show up at times when the party either really could do without them being there, or actually, on the other hand, when the party really is in need of some assistance and things are in dire straits, and the Zhentarim can appear to offer a helping hand, but at quite a significant cost, whether that be in gold or cash money, or indeed some more morally questionable dilemmas. So imagine, for example, then that your party are needing a bit of rare information or a specific item. The Zhentarim could offer it, but the price might be quite steep, for example. Perhaps a favor that puts the party in a morally grey situation, as I mentioned. So this can obviously then lead to very rich role-playing opportunities and challenging moral dilemmas, which are always my sorts of favourite things to throw at my players, rather than necessarily combat encounters. In your campaigns, then, the Zhentarim can actually serve as quite a recurring threat or a mysterious benefactor. Their influence can be felt in cities, trade routes, and even in the wilderness. Their agents might be the ones pulling the strings, for example, behind local conflicts or political upheavals, always working towards their ultimate goal of domination. So, that's it for today's overview of the Zhentarim. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a comment on the other things that you would like me to cover such videos on. Sometimes I'll put together a poll for patrons and YouTube members as well, so that they can vote on some of those topics. But if you have any further ideas, whether that's inspired directly by this video or indeed other video ideas that you've had, then please do leave a comment and let me know. Otherwise, if you have actually used the Zhentarim in your campaign before, or had experience dealing with the Zhentarim as a player, then let me know your stories in the comments. They're always fun to read, and also for other audience members such as yourself to read and share their stories with you as well. So, thanks very much for tuning in to this episode of Lore Library, and until next time, keep your swords sharp, and particularly when dealing with the Zhentarim, your wits just that little bit sharp.